Hello, and welcome to this case study number 2, Computer Network Design Presentation. This presentation is for the IT 300A Introduction to Computer and Information Technology class with our instructor, Harry Hurley. My name is Knute Alger, and I'm a student here at St. Mary's University. Today is February 4th, 2024. For our agenda today, we'll be reviewing the following. Introduction to vendors. As part of the introduction of vendors slide, we will review which vendors I've selected for each of the network components used to complete the network diagram. As part of the network diagram slide, we will review in detail how each of the following components work within the diagram: computers, switches, servers, the router, firewall, and modem. We'll proceed to the cost breakdown structure and we'll review the cost breakdown for each component. I'll follow up with a conclusion and then wrap up this presentation with my references. Introduction of vendors. This assignment requested that we design an office with computer equipment for 12 employees. Also, that we show a diagram showing how the computers will be networked together, and then finally show the cost of the computers, routers, and switches. To complete the process, I've conducted research on a number of vendors, and I found that multiple vendors are needed to build the type of network diagram I was interested in. For computers, you'll see I've selected Hewlett-Packard and their HP Pro 1 440 G9 all-in-one PC. I've used these PCs in the past and have found them to be compact yet functionally capable systems for handling many office functions. For the switch, I've selected Hewlett-Packard as their Aruba Instant On 1830 switch meets the current need of a 12-computer office and offers room for growth as the business grows. For the server, I selected Lenovo and their ThinkSystem ST650V3. This server is selected because of its ability to address the current and future growth needs of a 12-computer network. For the firewall router, I've selected CDW and their Fortinet FortiGate 60F security router. This is a powerful router offering a high level of security for a 12-computer network. Lastly, I've selected Netgear and their Orbi 860 Wi-Fi 6 mesh system for the modem. We'll go into further detail with each of these components as we proceed. Next, I'll take you through a short overview of the network diagram I built for a 12-computer office. I used the Mural application to construct this diagram, as Mural has many of the tools needed. This is a bottom-up LAN network diagram. As you'll see, we begin with the 12 desktop computers here at the bottom. Each of these computers connect with a switch via a data cable. A network switch allows 2 or more IT devices to communicate with one another. In addition to connecting to end devices like PCs and printers, switches may be connected to other switches, routers, and firewalls, all of which can provide connectivity to additional devices. For the purpose of this diagram, I've connected just one switch to the computer, servers, printer, and firewall. Next, let's talk about the network server and what role it plays. A server stores, sends, and receives data. In essence, it serves something else and exists to provide services. A server also brings organization when it comes to managing the IT within a company. It does this by managing user permissions, software, and security. When a company has more than just a couple of computers to manage, a server can help bring time savings, maximize productivity, present security breaches, and recover if a disaster strikes. Next, let's discuss network printers. Depending on the printer setup, network printers can serve the printing needs of multiple employees with a single printer or numerous printers spread out throughout the office. As we see in my network diagram, by connecting all 12 computers to the switch and then the switch to the network printer, all 12 computers can access the same printer. That is, if they're all signed into the network. Up next is the firewall router. A firewall is a computer network security system that restricts internet traffic into, out of, or within a private network. Firewalls can be viewed as a gate gated border or gateway that manages travel or permit travel of or permit and prohibited web activity in a private network. The term comes from the concept of physical walls being barriers to slow the spread of a fire until emergency service can extinguish it. Last but not least in our network diagram is the modem. In the simplest terms, a modem is the device that allows computers and other network devices to connect to the internet. It does this by converting digital signals from these devices into analog signals that can be transmitted over a telephone line or cable networks. Modems can do Modems can also do the opposite by converting incoming analog signals into digital signals so that they can be processed by your device. When thinking about the costs involved in setting up a well-constructed, well-protected computer network for a 12-computer office, it's important to take into consideration that a good network system should consider the following: defining the network goals, creating of a budget, training, security needs, scalability, maintenance, and automatic updates. Depending on these needs, the cost of a component can vary. I've attempted to derive my cost breakdown based on the needs of a small company. With that in mind, you'll see that the cost involved with the HP computer system totals $25,788 for 12 computers. That's a cost of about $2,149 per computer. The switch runs $850, while the server runs $3,765.84, and the firewall cost is $479. The modem cost is $799. When added together, the total network system cost for these components totals $681.84. Please note that this does not take into consideration the cost of taxes. Additional costs for things like training and maintenance will vary depending on what level of training is required and how much maintenance is needed throughout a given year. In conclusion, there are many detailed standards one should consider for the components. Also, for your computer network to communicate effectively. Be sure to take the time to understand each of them and plan accordingly. These are the references I've used to compile my presentation. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for taking the time to view.